From the news and current affairs department here at Freedom Communications Incorporated with studios in Moravia. Welcome to this Thursday, August 10th, 2023 edition of Freedom News Basket. 45 minutes of the latest of actual captivating news happenings in Liberia and elsewhere. This is a Jeff Jefferson presentation. The top developments are following tonight. President George Weah wants Liberians grant him additional 6 years to showcase his numerous tangibles when leaving power calls on first-time voters to vote in for more developments. Opposition Unity Party cancels the naming of members of its national campaign team over alleged attacks of its partisans and supporters. United Nations, through the Food and Agriculture Organization, launches its first Liberia soil information system in Liberia, and there's where US and UN raised concern for ousted Niger President Mohamed Bazoum's health, according to the BBC. The details of these developments, the voices of the newsmakers, the news bulletins, polls, the news from the foreign scene are all packaged in this Thursday edition of the News Basket, proudly sponsored by Crime Stoppers Liberia and Relay on Hatwork Radio in Popa District, Grand Cape County. Follow us online at Freedom Radio Liberia. At this juncture, we cross over to the news desk where Elizana Yannick seated to reinforce the bulletin. Good evening, Alex.
Good evening, Jeff, and good evening, listeners. Liberia's President George Weah has rallied Liberians to grant his administration additional 6 years to equalize with the past 12 years that were given to the opposition Unity Party as means of showcasing his numerous tangibles when leaving power. The Liberian president, speaking on Thursday at a program marking the third day of his campaign tour in districts 9 and 10, Mostrada County, said opposition parties are denigrating his government that can boost of numerous developments in the country that they failed to do in the past 12 years. President Weah added that when he took over the presidency, he encountered lots of difficulties, but yet he stood his ground due to his faith in God that there will be better days in Liberia. The CDC standard bearer further indicated that during the departure of oil from Liberia, along with other security agencies, there were so many negative speculations about the country being at risk, but Liberians committed themselves to upholding the peace, which he lauded them for contributing to the stability of peace in the country. Meanwhile, President George Weah, however, arraigned process as parents of the first-time voters and others for electing him in 2017 in order for their children to benefit free education, free wax fees, and others, thus calling on the first-time voters to follow their parents' 2017 decision to vote him comes October 10 this year. The opposition Unity Party has cancelled the naming of members of the national campaign team for the October 10 presidential legislative elections. The party had announced that its Senior Barrier Joseph Newman Walker would announce the full rescue mission campaign team on Thursday, August 10. Partisans and supporters of the party Thursday assembled at the campaign headquarters on the airfield in Cinco, but were subsequently informed that the activity had been cancelled. The news has not established the actual cause of the cancellation. However, it is alleged that the cancellation is a result of clashes between partisans of the Unity Party and the Coalition for Democratic Change. Supporters of both parties have accused each other of planned attacks in different locations. Meanwhile, the spokesperson of the Unity Party said while en route to the party national campaign headquarters as previously planned to announce additional and final campaign team and interact with partisans and supporters of the rescue mission. The entourage of the Unity Party Senator Joseph Walker encountered traffic caused by the unexpected activities of the Coalition for Democratic Change. Mo Ali alleged that partisans and militants of the CDC disrupted activities of the Unity Party, partisans who had gathered at Vamoma to welcome Justin at the burial. He added that in view of the foregoing, the Unity Party Alliance's campaign decided to postpone the planned press conference for the purpose of avoiding confrontation that could lead to violence between and among supporters of the two parties, and also in observation of the Farmington Declaration. The UP Alliance calls the attention of the National Elections Commission to a less constant disruptive behavior of the CDC. While he also called on international partners to caution the CDC to abide by the Farmington Declaration. The Food and Agriculture Organizations of the United Nations has launched its first Liberia Soil Information System in collaboration with the Ministry of Agriculture and University of Liberia. The launch of the Liberia Soil Information System took place in Monrovia on Wednesday, August 9. Speaking at the opening of the launch, the head of program at FAO, Otavio Squabo, said this has been a long journey since 2014 to 2016, which did not materialize until 2019 to 2020 when the process started. Squabo added that jumping down from his initial budget, US $5 million that was developed by the technical team to collect the primary data across the country, it was availed less than 500,000 dollars, with Nimba County emerging as the only county to collect the primary data. According to him, with the minimum resources, they were able to upgrade the University of Liberia Soil Laboratory to a high standard and accessible level. A local leadership under the banner Community Leadership Development Association in District 4, Monserrado County has vowed to deliver the district to the ruling Coalition for Democratic Change in the pending legislative and presidential elections. According to the spokesperson of the group, Agasa Mela, the institution has a clear campaign message due to the workings of the chief executive in the first 6 years of his presidency. Madam Mela named payment of wax fees, affordable electricity, and the pavement of several roads across Liberia as reasons the ordinary citizens should re-elect him, the president, during the October 10 polls. Meanwhile, the head of CLDA, Godfrey Johnson, said he strongly rejected the call by the opposition community to make President Weah a one-term president. According to Chairman Johnson, the team will go all out to ensure that the Liberian leader gets one round victory on October 10 of this year. A representative candidate of Electoral District Monserrado County, Ambassador Rufus Novel, has vowed to propose a resolution aimed at reducing salaries and benefits of the 55th legislature if re-elected as representative of the district. Speaking Thursday at a news conference in Monrovia, the former representative Novel said the resolution is heavily endorsed by legislative candidates from all political parties as means of expressing a commitment to integrity and accountability at the legislature. According to Novel, though, Article 36 of the Constitution granting them the power, they are using it at the detriment of the Liberian people by allocating unnecessary funds for self-aggrandizement. He furthered that the resolution, among other things, seeks to allow all candidates that affix their signature to vote for the reduction of all lawmakers' salaries and benefits to 20% in order to increase the Ministry of Education budget to improve schools across the country. Novel said when they are elected into offices, they will ensure that the reduction of budgets kept for cabinet ministers and heads of public corporation is reduced at least 20% level. The first-time voters in District 16 Monserrado County are vowed to campaign across the district to re-elect President George Weah on a one-run victory. Speaking during President Weah's campaign engagement with citizens District 16 Wednesday, the spokesman of the first-time voters in District 16, Patricia Chi, lauded the president for paying the wax fees for all 12 graders across the country. Ms. Chi named free tuition at all public universities and colleges human capacity building, among others, as reasons President Weah should be re-elected. According to her, over the past 5.5 years, President George Weah has developed the country through education, health, sports, and among others. She assured President Weah a one-round victory in the upcoming October 10 general elections, including Senator Sir Joseph and District 16 Representative Dixon Sibu. She further added that as first-time voters within the district, they will go from community to campaign for the president to be re-elected as means of paying back for what he did for them in the first 6 years. And the Liberia Revenue Authority has trained and deployed 90 tax agents in Grand Bassa County to officially kick off its real property tax decentralization project, which will result into revenue sharing between the government and in press release from LRA said on Thursday, August 10, that the project seeks to ensure the registration, documentation, and evaluation of all real properties in Grand Bassa County, beginning with Electoral District 3. The initiative is aimed at expanding the collection of real property tax to enhance revenue growth, as in accordance with the Local Governments Act of 2018. 50% of all taxes collected from real properties in the county will be allotted to the county for local development. Speaking during the deployment of LRA tax agents in Buchanan, Grand Bassa County, LRA Assistant Commissioner for Real Estate Tax Division, James Jabber, said tax agents will use GIS technology and a new digital appraisal system developed to automate property valuation. The technology has also been integrated with Kobo Collect to streamline the real property data collection process, thus lauding the local county leaders, UNDP Liberia, and the government of Sudan for their support and friend cooperation. Freedom News.
Alexander Unican in the news bulletin, a regular feature on Freedom News Basket. Alex, originally with the news from the foreign scene. Let's remind you, you're listening to the Thursday, August 10th, 2023 edition of the Freedom News Basket. 45 minutes of the latest factual, captivating news happenings about Liberia and elsewhere. One of the top developers are following tonight. President George Weah wants Liberians grant him additional 6 years to showcase his numerous tangibles when leaving power, causing first-time voters to vote him for more developments. Let's now bring you the voices of those making the news, beginning with this development when President George Weah has rallied Liberians to grant his administration additional 6 years to equalize with the past 12 years that were given to the opposition Unity Party. The Liberian president speaking Thursday at a program marking the third day of his campaign tour in District 9 and 10. Montserrat County said opposition parties are denigrating his government that can boast of numerous developments in the country that they failed to do in the past 12 years. President Weah, however, ranked praises at parents of the first-time voters and others for electing him in 2017 in order for their children to benefit free education, free wax fees, and others, thus calling on the first-time voters to follow their parents' 2017 decision to vote him comes October 10 this year.
Join me, Liberians. Join me. The best we can do is to compare. Those that were there 12 years, they have their record already. And these are the same people that want to come back. The least we can do, let us give the other man 12 years so we can compare. So I'm asking you, Liberian people, for my part of 12 years, so you can compare who they want and who the best. I told you that in everything I do, I try to be the best. In 12 years, it's unprecedented. No one. See party that were in power 12 years ago telling you they are the best. How could they be the best when everything is scattered? We are the fixer. There is no rescue. We are the rescuer. I will not be personal, but I will tell you, Liberian people, if you can trust anybody, you can trust me. I have now been ashamed to live with you. I live in your community.
His President George Weah speaking Thursday during tours of districts 8, there's District 9 and 10 in Montserrat County. Meanwhile, President George Weah has ringing praises at the parents of the first-time voters and others for electing him in 2017 for their children to benefit free education rights, amongst others. He called on the first-time voters to follow suit, and he let him counsel October 10.
First-time voters, I want you to thank your parents. When some of you were not born, your parents followed the struggle. And because of them today, we are doing what we are doing for our country and for you. They're telling you that building roads and giving free school fees and wireless fees and building institutions in this country and making sure our economy is stable, building hospitals and what have you is nothing. What are they coming to do? If they're not building roads, if they're not trying to stabilize our economy. I inherited a country with a lot of difficulties. I did not cry because I believe in God Almighty, and I knew that the difficult times, the obstacles, of course, were going to bring the miracle. We are here. Liberia is safe. Liberia is good. When the international community were leaving, the soldiers were leaving, everybody said that Liberia will not be in good hands. Or how could Liberia not be in good hands when you are the citizen? Today we get peace is because of you. Now we are heading to prosperity. We got more hospital beds than ever before. We cannot go back. This is our time, young people, first-time voters. This is our time. This is our movement. Let us seize it. For 171 years, we were the children, hoping that our lives will be okay. We'll have free education. We'll have hospitals around our country. That never happened. It happened in the 5 years that young people took over this country. I said,
His Liberian President George Martin Weah. Today's development now where today's development where the campaign, the naming of the campaign team of the opposition Unity Party was cancelled today due to alleged attacks on partisans and supporters of the opposition Unity Party. There were also claims from partisans of the ruling coalition for democratic change of attacks on supporters of the CDC. But we'll bring you more of the development in our subsequent newscast. Today's development now where a representative candidate of the electoral district in Montserrat County, Rufus Nuvia, has vowed to propose a resolution aimed at reducing salaries and benefits of lawmakers in the 55th legislature if re-elected as representative of District 8. Speaking Thursday at the press conference in Monrovia, Nuvia said the resolution is heavily endorsed by legislative candidates from all political parties as means of expressing their commitment to integrity and accountability at the legislature. According to him, though Article 38 of the Constitution granting them the power, they are using it at the detriment of the Liberian people by allocating unnecessary funds for self-aggrandizement.
A resolution by legislative candidates in the 2023 general election expressing their commitment to integrity and accountability. Mindful of the fact that the unfair distribution of resources in Liberia has been the main reason for disunity and conflict, aware that Article 36 of the Constitution grants the authority to the senators and representatives to set their own remuneration or pay for their services, that the majority in the Senate and House of Representatives had used the budget process to allocate public funds to themselves themselves at the detriment of the people, and understanding that the trust of the Liberian people in their lawmakers is low due to greed and unfulfilled campaign promises. Now, therefore, we, the candidates vying for seats in the 55th legislature, do hereby resolve as follows. 1. Allowance that when elected, we, the lawmakers, will vote for the reduction in the allowances by at least 20%. Currently, each lawmaker makes $15,000 per month. This amount covers general allowances, gas slips, vehicle repairs, constituency office, communication or scratch cards, committee work, and domestic travel. Cabinet ministers and heads of public corporations. We also commit to reducing the allowances of cabinet ministers and heads of public corporations by at least 20%. In cases where the enabling statutes protect their benefits, we will proceed by reviewing those laws with immediate effect with the hope of making the appropriate amendment. Money generated here will subsidize schools and hopefully reduce tuition and fees. Number 2, duty-free privileges. Duty-free privileges for lawmakers, especially 2 cars per year, must be cancelled. Duty-free privileges are exemptions that allow some individuals or institutions to import goods into a country without paying custom duties and tax. However, it is crucial to reconsider the necessity and fairness of providing such privileges when Liberian lawmakers are among the well-paid officials in the ECOWAS region. This action will eliminate the potential for abuse and increase government revenue. The current practice is that lawmakers receive new vehicles every 3 years. A senator receives 3 cars during his or her term, while a representative receives 2 cars. At the rate of $45,000 per car, taxpayers spend $90,000 on each representative and $135,000 on each senator for a term. The legal justification for this luxury is that the annual depreciation rate for government vehicles is 33%. At this rate, the cars are officially out of service after every 3 years. 99.
Meanwhile, Ambassador Rufus Nivea has said when they are elected into office, they will ensure that the reduction of budget kept for cabinet ministers and heads of public corporations is at least 20%.
We pledge to review the relevant laws or policies that set the standard for amortization or depreciation of government cars over 6 years instead of 3. Savings here will improve public transport, especially the National Transit Authority. Note, the estimate here is lower and conservative, given that the Speaker, President pro tem, and heads of committees on executive, ways and means, foreign affairs, judiciary, and rules and order are far more expensive and luxurious. Number 4, open budget initiative. We pledge to debate the fiscal budget in open session and to vote against any appropriation of public funds to institutions owned by government officials. We shall seek the participation of scholars from the University of Liberia, Cottington University, African Methodist Episcopal University, and other higher institutions of learning. By engaging these institutions, we aim to utilize their scholarship and insight in addressing pressing national issues as it relates to the budget. Number 5, budget performance report. Failure to report on money allocated to institutions obstructs the workings of the legislature. It prevents lawmakers from comparing actual versus planned expenditures over a given period. We, therefore, pledge to hold in contempt any official of the executive branch who will refuse to submit a budget performance report at the end of each fiscal period. Number 6, district development fund. The budget is a law. After passage of the legislature, the executive must execute said law. The lawmakers abrogated the constitution by allocating money to themselves for district development in the case of the USD 30,000 in the 2020, 2021, and 2022 fiscal budget. The budget is a law. After passage by the legislature, the executive must execute the law. The lawmakers abrogated the constitution by allocating money to themselves for district development in the case of the USD 30,000 in the fiscal budget 2020, 2021, and 2020. This action violated the principle of separation of power, the very foundation of our Republican form of government. We therefore pledge that district development funds shall go directly to the communities through the offices of the community leadership and the superintendent Ministry of Internal Affairs. Number 7, civil servant. If elected, will vote against any additional benefit to government officials. We'll also vote for strong austerity measures and that additional revenue generated shall benefit the civil servants of the Republic of Liberia.
His Manzarado County District 8 Representative Hopeful Rufus Nivea addressing a press conference Thursday in Monrovia. Today's development where Thus, the first-time voters in District 16 Monserrate County have vowed to campaign across the district to re-elect President George Weah on a one-round victory. Speaking during President Weah's campaign engagement with citizens in District 16 Wednesday, the spokesperson of the first-time voters in District 16, Patricia Chi, lauded the president for paying the wax fees for all 12 years across the country. Ms. Chi named free tuition at all public universities and colleges, capacity building, amongst others, as reason President Weah should be re-elected. According to Hall, over the past 5.5 years, the Liberian leader has developed the country through education, health, sports, amongst others. I sincerely apologize for the very poor quality in that excerpt, but she's Patricia Churi. That's Patricia Chi speaking on behalf of first-time voters Wednesday in District 16 when President George Weah, as part of his official campaign tour in Montserrat County, visited the District 16 in Montserrat County. Breaking us to half past the hour, let's remind you that you're listening to the Thursday, August 10th, 2023 edition of the News Basket, 45 minutes of the latest, the factual, captivating news happenings in Liberia and elsewhere. A reminder of the top developments we following tonight. President George Weah wants Liberians grant him additional 6 years to showcase his numerous tangibles when leaving power calls on first-time voters to vote him for more developments. Opposition Unity Party cancels the naming of members of his national campaign team over alleged attacks of his partisans and supporters. United Nations through the Food and Agriculture Organization launches its first Liberia soil information system in Liberia. And elsewhere, the United States and United Nations raised concern for ousted Niger President Mohamed Bazoum's health, according to the BBC. We're taking a break. Still ahead is the Passion of Life Sports. Many thanks for rejoining us. Let's sincerely apologize that we can bring you the passion of life. Sports it will come up in our subsequent newscast. Today's development our way a local leadership under the banner Community Leadership Development Association of Industry for Montreal County has vowed to deliver the district to the ruling coalition for democratic change in the pending legislative and presidential elections. According to the spokesperson of the group, Agatha Miller, the institution has a clear campaign message due to the working of the chief executive in the first 6 years of his presidency. Alameda named pavement of wax fees, affordable electricity, and the pavement of several roads across Liberia as reason the ordinary citizen in Cherie led President Weah during the October 10 polls.
We are the human magnets. We are going to enter the various slums community everywhere, and we are going to send out the message. The people president, the president of our youth, Africa Black Diamond, the one and only. We are gearing up to receive the president in district number 4. We will always appreciate the president because of the work that he have done. Like for me, I'm a typical example. My own daughter, she's a first-time voter, and she's coming out of high school. She benefited from the wax fee. There are too many things that the president have done that we have to appreciate him. When he talks about electricity, right? When he talks about road, right? Road connectivity is right. He's there. So what else? Our president has done a lot. And guess what? This driver that we are talking about will remain in the car until 2029. The president 12 years is loading. And we, the people of district number 4, we are going to work. Let the president come. Let him come and meet us under the umbrella of FADA, our dynamic. We're going to make it possible, and we'll do what we're able to do. This is the case, right? There is no city government I've ever won massive vote in district number 4. But under the leadership of CADA, under the umbrella of CADA, there will be a big difference. That which we can give you the guarantee. And 2023, let the president get glued to the radio. He will hear for himself. We are going to make the case for him. All we need from the president is the logistics to get out. We ride over water. We cross. We go out there to people, like the people that are in air-conditioned car cannot reach it. And when we get there, we are going to make the case. So all we can tell the president, let him feel free. Let him come and identify with the people of District 4. We are prepared to carry the mantle, and we will go to make the case for the president.
Meanwhile, the head of CADA, Godfrey Johnson, said he strongly rejected the call by the opposition community to make President Weah a one-term president. According to Johnson, the team will go all out to ensure that the Liberian leader gets one round victory on October 10 this year.
Our message to him, why it is true, we're going to canvass and have the district over to the people. Somebody would sit there and say, Chairman Godfrey Johnson is a member of CDC and this, that, he's leading one side. No! I got one God outside. And I say it to you, President George Weah, one term. There's no way. I don't accept that. That's why I exemplified this morning. And every time we see the billboard, we'll do the prayer for it. We'll do a prayer and tie around it and protect that billboard. The last of Momo B. Kamara is the first time that CDC, I want to put our interests forward. The first time Momo B. Kamara. So I stay with them this time. Because of that, Sir Joseph, George Weah is a landslide. It's a landslide. You see that by yourself. Our expectation we have, as I lead this community and lead this district, I have discipline and I have needs. And our people need them to find their lives in the 21st century. Look at the roads of Shara. Every other chair have been elected. The people complete on road. When it comes to electricity, we took them from community current, we brought them to the LEC grade. Today, the current is very stable. I have attended to the road project. And so I started engaging the road project. He sees me and he knows that. He sees the sons. He said, I am waiting before they're aware. So I said to him, if you come into Dupo Road, Shara, district number 4, the population will be too many. Don't bring names that will attract the people again. No, don't do that. Just leave it with the people. The message to him, why it is true, we're going to canvass and have the district over to the people. Somebody would sit there and say, Chairman Godfrey Johnson is a member of CDC and this, that, he's leading one side. No! I got one God outside. And I say it to you, President George Weah, one term. There's no way. I don't accept that. That's why I exemplified this morning. And every time we see the billboard, we'll do the prayer for it. We'll do a prayer and tie around it and protect that billboard. the last of Momo B. Kamara. It's the first time that CDC, I want to put our interests forward. The first time Momo B. Kamara. So I stay with them this time. Because that, Sir Joseph, George Weah is a landslide. It's a landslide. You see that by yourself. Our expectation we have, as I lead this community and lead this district, I have discipline and I have needs. And our people need them to find their lives in the 21st century. Look at the roads of Sarah. Any other chair have been elected. The people complete on road. When it comes to Larry City, we took them from community current, we brought them to the LEC grade. Today, the current is very stable. I have attended to the road project. And so I started engaging the road project. He sees me and he knows that. He sees the sons. He said, I'm waiting. He fought that way. So I said to him, if you come into Dubo Road, Shara, just grade number 4, the population will be too many. Don't bring names. I will attract the people again. No, don't do that. Just leave it with the people. Just in what we say, you see it. I'm making a rainbow color. Just grade number 4 got rainbow color. I put in white, people in red, and put in green, and put in blue. You see it. Once you're not prepared for the occasion, you know the dress code. The day the scene being played, the political officers are now phone us, yes. So we hold it up to them, but I can tell you without conviction that we hope to see in district number 4.
He's Godfred Johnson, the head of the Community Leadership Development Association, CADA, in District 4, speaking earlier. You listened to the spokesperson of the group, Agatha Naylor, pledging one-round victory to His Excellency President George Weah. Still held, the news is the news from the foreign scene, but this development will set the pace. Montserrat County Senator Sir Joseph has rallied citizens of the county not to vote Unity Party Standard Bearer Joseph Walker, rather the CDC arrowhead to George Weah. Senator Joseph, whose county President Weah commences 2023 campaign Tuesday, said even though he is a citizen of Lofa County with the Kisi ethnicity, the former Vice President Walker should not be given a chance in these elections, as President Weah deserves to be re-elected due to his tangibles across the country.
People of Montserrat County, it is about time that we tell you that enough is enough. They told you the president has done nothing. Today I want you to look at the RIA road. People of Montserrat County, I want you to look at the free tuition the president has introduced. You to look at the YF free program the president has also introduced in the Republic of Nigeria. No president has ever done that for the past year. People of Montserrat County, you don't expect the president to be in our community. The president has foresaw. The guy has children across district and in the country. This is why we are there. I want to say to you, the president should be given the opportunity to make sure that enough money to do more development. So we are not ready for any second round. We are only going for one round in Montserrat County. All we can say to the president, Mr. President, thank you very much. Thank you from Montserrat County. You have done well. While serving as senior senator of Montserrat County, you develop Montserrat County. You make sure as caucus chairman of Montserrat County, funds were given to every district. I'm a living testimony as former representative of number 13. Mr. President, you build hospital district 13. Mr. President, you build 3 markets in district number 13. Mr. President, you support free tuition program in district number 13. And we begin to name in Montserrat County. You see me standing here as a senator. The president gives me the opportunity to make sure that we bring process in Montserrat County. You are testimony. We have reduced transportation in Montserrat County. I want to say to you, I'm from Lofa County. I'm a Kisi man. Don't vote for Joseph Walker. Vote for Ambassador George Weah.
Montserrat County Senator Sir Joseph rallying citizens of the county to vote President George Weah and deny his kinsman Joseph Yuma Walker. At this juncture, we rejoin Elizana Yenikin to read for us the news from the foreign scene.
The United States and United Nations are concerned about the health and safety of Niger's elected President Mohamed Bazoum, who has spent more than 2 weeks under house arrest. The Economic Community of West African States had given Niger's coup leaders until Sunday to stand down. ECOWAS leaders are meeting in Nigeria to decide what to do next. Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu, who is chairing the summit, said diplomatic negotiations with the junta in Niger will formed the bedrock of efforts to restore the democratically elected government. Ahead of the meeting, Muslim clerics from northern Nigeria, which shares a long border with Niger, have urged President Tinubu against using force to oust the coup leaders. The UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres said he was concerned about the reportedly deplorable living conditions of President Bazoum and his family. Earlier, his party said they were being detained on cruel and inhumane conditions. Reuters news agency reported. That's the foreign development.
Zana Yannick, the news from the foreign, saying he's taking us home on this Thursday, August 10 edition of the news basket. Just before we leave you, a recap of the major developments we've been following. President George Weah wants Liberians grant him additional 6 years to showcase his numerous tangibles when leaving power, calls on first-time voters to vote him for more developments. Opposition Unity Party cancels the naming of members of his national campaign team over alleged attacks of his partisans and supporters. United Nations True Food and Agriculture Organization launches the first Liberia soil information system in the country. And elsewhere, the United States and the United Nations raised concern for ousted Niger President Mohamed Bazoum's health, according to the BBC. Many thanks to our contributors, correspondents, reporters, editors, and all helped make this edition of the News Basket a success. Citizen Yannick read the news bulletin, the news from the foreign. St. Anthony Stevens, Sada Control, coordinated the sound aspect of the news presentation. Dua Cruiser sat behind the camera and coordinated the Freedom Radio Liberia Live. The invitation is yours to join us tomorrow morning at 6 for an hour magazine news program, Freedom News Insight. This news presentation proudly sponsored by Crime Stoppers Liberia Relay on Hard Work Radio in Pauper District, Grand Cape Mount County. On behalf of the team, thanks for listening, thanks for viewing. I've been your presenter, Jeff Jefferson. Good evening from Morovia.